Welcome all newcomers, returning people. Just welcome everyone. Week 4.
Week 4, coming out of week 3, leading into week 4, an interesting week 3.
It's going to be,
to say the least.
to say the least, yeah.
Going to be an interesting week 4. It's been an interesting season.
Thus
Not
far.
that there's much to judge. We are For the Fan, brought to you by PWP
Nation. Follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Maybe they have a MySpace.
Maybe that would be, if you have that. Follow us on
Do you think they have a Quizlet?
social medias. Instagram and Twitter. Handle is at
We Are For the Fan.
Thank you.
Email us any comments, questions, proclamations, declarations.
Or message us on those social medias as
Yeah.
well. We are
Email us,
completely
we are
for
for the fan.
feedback.
Yeah.
Any interesting ideas anyone has, any dislikes, likes, please let us know.
Mid-likes, half,
Half-likes.
50-50.
I'm
Will.
Dom. That's important. And then we have, as
Intern
always,
Joe.
Intern Joe. Hi, Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Joe says hi, Joe. So just like
Every
all 3 of our episodes before this, we are going to start with the headlines between week 3, week 4, and
Review every game.
Review our week 3 games and head into predicting our week 4 games. And once again, talking about predictions,
How you doing?
we are. What is it currently?
Oh, we're tied. 25
5 to 25. So Will has a chance at taking the lead for the first time ever this coming week.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There's always a chance. And this is the first week we have bye weeks, week 4. So
Yeah.
that's also
Sad.
something. So right on in. Well,
Let's start out with the news here.
Headlines,
Yet again,
yeah.
I think this is like
What do
the
you
4th
got?
straight podcast with Le'Veon Bell being the number 1 story. Le'Veon Bell, the Steelers want to move on from him because they see James Conner and Stephen Ridley as more favorable options.
so what did their
Their teams are inquiring about him. I know the Jets have inquired about him. Apparently,
the Steelers are
the Eagles.
open to that, right?
Apparently, the Eagles are like a dark horse team that just kind of an under the radar team that could pick him up. But I don't see why they would pick him
But
up.
if there's anything we've learned from the last offseason, sometimes front runners don't really get the
Oh, Jets. Okay. So with the
don't get the player.
the Le'Veon Bell situation, whichever team picks him up has to have at least $10 million open for the 2018 season to get him on the team.
Yeah.
And then from there, they cannot sign him to an extension till after that team season is like completely over. So,
whether it be in the playoffs or after week 17.
yeah, it doesn't matter when. But hey, what team do you think is favored to landing Bell?
I just like
Give
you
me your
said,
three. Give me your three.
3.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, all right. Just like you
all the
said,
teams.
the Jets is always an option because the Jets, they're a team with the room. They have the money. They have the room. They're not a team like the Cardinals who, where that need is filled there
Yeah.
in that position with David Johnson. The Jets could use that. Bilal Powell's getting older.
Yeah, he's 30, 31.
He's 30, 31.
Isaiah Crowell is.
He's not bad.
He's not bad.
But no one is really Le'Veon Bell. We've seen some impressive rushers thus far in the league.
Yeah.
But still, Le'Veon Bell is Le'Veon Bell. He has a high value.
He can.
So
he's honestly
that's-
the all-around running back receiver. You can pay him whatever. He could play any position.
Yeah, and in the upcoming weeks, look for teams that might have injuries in their rushing
Attack.
core, and they might make a move, maybe, because once again, Will said they need $10 million, and Le'Veon, they don't have to sign Le'Veon. They can just have him for the rest of the season. Maybe if this might be a buffer season for him on a team, he might help a team maybe into the playoffs or something. So we'll see. There's stuff to look forward to. Do they have to trade him before the week 10? Is that like a thing?
If they don't trade him, he's just kind of there.
He is, but
He
because
just-
I know
he just doesn't
there's
play.
that contract thing going
Yeah,
on.
he just doesn't play.
Can he not play anywhere?
He can't play anywhere.
So this
So if
trade,
he doesn't
well,
get, if he
I mean,
doesn't
it doesn't matter because of the deadline.
unless they take
but-
away the franchise tender, he can't play
Yeah,
anywhere.
interesting.
Or if they trade him and then they trade the franchise tender with him.
Yeah, interesting. Well, what do you think?
Well,
I know
mean,
you're thinking the Jets.
I know.
just
I'm
as
thinking
well.
the Jets because hey, you can trade away, Bilal Powell, Isaiah Crowell. You could trade them away because the Steelers are going to want another running back in return. You get Bell. You trade them. They don't even have a second round pick. I don't know if you would want to trade the first, but like if you really are committed to really making Sam Darnold this quarterback that's supposed to run the AFC East for the next decade or two. You got to give him some weapons, although the offensive line's just not... It's not even there. There's no offensive line. He was eaten up against the Browns.
Mm-hmm. And they have the room. They
have the room. They have $20 million. I don't know how much they have. I think they have like $20 million right now. They could just throw... they could bring him in. And
he's always been in the back of everyone's mind for Le'Veon. It's always been kind of the Jets as well.
Le'Veon grew up as a Jet fan. I mean, he
exactly.
tweeted during the AFC title game when it was Jets-Steelers, man, I want the Jets to win because I hate the Steelers.
Yeah.
Look at he could play for his favorite team. He wore green. He wore green in college, Michigan State.
It's almost a long time coming. If it were to happen, if it were to happen. Once again, the Jets have, you can say, may or may not have dropped the ball on some signings in the past year, but I mean, once again, it's another situation where we'll see what happens. We'll see where he goes, if he goes. What happens?
Yeah, and you could be looking at Indianapolis, who has a very young running back core, but they could still bring in.
Now.
Frank Gore is gone. You have, I think, Marlon Mack. I don't know who the other people are, but you just have these young guys that you can't really do.
San Fran. Well,
I mean, San Fran. You have Jarrett McKinnon, who's on IR. You have Breida. You have Morris.
Yeah.
I mean, Morris probably won't be there after this year.
I mean, I only said that because of thinking about McKinnon, but once again, Breida's.
Yeah, you could possibly be looking at Oakland. Like, there's a lot of teams that you don't know. Like, oh, hey, they're gonna trade for them.
This isn't the end of Le'Veon's career. He obviously has a future. So
he has a future.
Whatever
as long
team
as
he goes to, there is a future in the league for Le'Veon Bell.
As long as he's healthy, then there's nothing to worry about for Le'Veon.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely nothing.
Other than money, but if you have the room, you do it.
You have the room, you do it. But the thing is, he wants to be paid like a wide receiver, so he's going to want $17 million, and that's like totally out of the range for. It's not out of the range, but you're still
playing top tier every year. Still, it might not be out of question.
He could do it all. He could run the. He could catch the ball. He could rush the ball. He could probably pass the ball. He could play offensive line for all we know.
Yeah,
dude,
we could see this. Players always want to be paid more in certain positions and whatnot, but he could be leading some future running backs into wanting to be paid more. Maybe this position we'll see it as a higher paid position. So yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting. So
now we're going to be going to Minnesota, where Everson Griffin.
This is all you. Tell me about
Everson Griffin is. It's a very weird situation. No one knew. I didn't know that he was inactive on. I think he was inactive on Sunday, but apparently he tried breaking into a teammate's house. His fiance called the cops on him and all that, and he was just in the hospital getting all these mental checkups. I don't know if they're checkups, just evaluations and such. But Mike Zimmer said there's nothing to worry about, but apparently he's breaking into your own teammates' houses. That's a big red flag. And it's going to be weird to see, what can happen. Intern Joe sleeping over there. He's out.
We've already had a long day, so I don't blame him.
It's already a long day. We've been up since 7.
So, well, that's not even early for some people.
It's not early. It's early.
Early for us. Maybe.
It's early for us. I mean, you got to worry about him because, now people are going to be like, oh, the link between concussions is now leading to this and that. This is something you got to look at for the next, few weeks.
There might need to be a conversation had.
I'm pretty sure he signed an extension just recently, within the last year. But
and this is part of the Vikings' top tier.
He's the best pass rusher on the Vikings.
Yeah.
You have Linval Joseph. You have Everson Griffin. I don't think Brian Robinson's there anymore. But if he is, then hey, he's there.
This is a big deal. This is gonna develop. We'll get you those developments as it happens. Obviously, podcast to podcast. So this is something else to keep close watch on. So moving forward, what else? Oh,
we have the flag.
This is a controversy here. We have a flag, is that what you said?
We have a flag. I mean,
We've
eventually
had
we'll get a
too
flag.
many flags. So this is a big deal. Roughing the passer we've watched it been called a lot, maybe more than other years.
I mean,
They're
they
kind of
changed the
cracking
rule-
down
they
on
changed
it.
the rule in the offseason.
You can't fall on a quarterback as a pass rusher with your weight. But then there's like gray areas. There's Clay Matthews, who's not happy about this whatsoever. So, I mean, it's interesting how this is going to go.
I'm looking for my computer bag.
Will's looking for his computer bag and can't find it.
Oh, I found it.
He found it.
Underneath Joe's inflation suit.
Oh, yeah.
His sumo suit.
Halloween preparation. So, Clay Matthews is kind of the one speaking out about this. He's not happy. He's been called. It's been every week so far. He's been called.
It literally cost the Vikings the game. No, it didn't cost the Vikings. It cost the Packers the game because he hit Kirk Cousins, and I mean, although the ball was out after that, but it's still the pass rusher still has to do what he has to do.
It's holding
an
them
instinct.
back a little bit.
It's an instinctual.
They're
thing.
going right into a season after for some people like Clay Matthews playing his whole career a certain way, and then just expected to change right into another season. I mean, he's not happy, like I said. Other players aren't happy. It's interesting because these are rules where the players don't agree with. So, will they sustain these rules, or will they, There's always pros and cons here because of all the safety protocol.
Yeah, you gotta look at this too. So, Clay Matthews hit Kirk Cousins as the ball was going out, which is still legal. If it was last season, it was still a legal hit.
And it's legal on any other player.
But if you look at it right now, he sacked Alex Smith, and Alex Smith had the ball, so he could still put his body weight on him. I know you're trying to protect the quarterback and all that, but
play football.
You're hurting other players, and you're costing teams a lot of penalty yards for a way that they've been training since they're 8, 9, 10 years old.
And then you have players that are quarterbacks that are rushing the ball. You have Cam Newton, who's obviously not afraid to take hits, who's probably fine without this rule, who probably is like, let's play some football. We don't need this rule kind of thing.
Alex Smith even said that he thinks the call was a BS.
So it's another thing to look at, especially coming out of this season, maybe what they're going to do. Maybe refs might be more lenient on it. Who knows?
We'll have to wait till next season to see if they're doing anything.
We'll see how this goes.
So we have
this is
some football news. Some Kramer and Storm are the first female commentary team, and they're going to debut for Amazon Prime for the next 11 Thursday night games, starting tomorrow night, the 27th of September.
So what this means is if
Vikings
you don't
at
have cable,
Rams,
if you don't have cable, how you would watch this is Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, you have Amazon Prime, but you still have everything else. You have PlayStation, View, whatever.
You
have a lot of. There's a lot of streaming services around.
These commentators, this is
it's a step in a direction where women are they're getting more exposure instead of just a two commentary team.
Yeah, so I mean, that's interesting. That's a headline for sure.
It is a headline.
And when does that start again? That starts tomorrow.
It starts
Thursday,
tomorrow, the 27th.
In Minnesota
No, it's in Minnesota. It's in LA.
Yeah, in that game.
Yeah, we'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings watching that game.
We will. Moving on. This is some
Baker
fun.
Mayfield and Josh Rosen are gonna get their first career starts after being in their selected games last week
During such a
weird period.
Fun draft, kind of.
It
really
was a fun draft.
So that's fun.
It leaves just Lamar Jackson as the last quarterback that hasn't started, but I don't think Lamar Jackson could
But he's
start.
taking reps too. So he's been out there. It's not like
starting.
he's just a backup. He's putting in some work
He's running
as well.
it. He's blocking. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't caught a ball yet, but we're looking at that. And
then,
also our weekly.
Weekly because now it's almost
It's a weekly watch.
Khalil Mack's stats versus the Raiders' defense stats. This really puts into perspective what the Raiders did here in trading him away and how beneficial this is for Chicago. So tell us, bring us these.
So
these
the Raiders,
stats, Will.
0 wins, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 0 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, and no touchdowns for the entire Raiders defense. And now we're going to go to Khalil Mack. 2 wins, 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Looks like my defensive player of the year selection.
Yeah. So in every category here, wins, sacks, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, touchdowns. He literally has a better stat in each of those categories, or the same stat. In most of them, better. So, I mean, this man alone...
He is a defense.
He was obviously the lifeblood of the Raiders' defense, and with him gone, the Raiders need someone to step up, someone to start moving momentum in the Raiders' direction. And
they're still trying to find the pass rusher. John Gruden said it's very hard to find a pass rusher in this league. I mean, hey, it's not like you had one. You had one, and then you got rid of him.
Yeah. So, moving right into last week's Week 3 matchups, starting with Will's dreaded Thursday night matchup, one he is not happy about talking about, the New York Jets losing in Cleveland 21-17. Before you talk, let me just say, who isn't happy about this? Other than Jets fans and other than fans in that division, you have to be happy for Cleveland. This is the first time they've won at home in a long time. They opened the vending machines for fans, fridges, vending machines. Yeah, they are fridges. The Bud Light fridges, and fans were going wild. Fans were happy. I mean, this is a Super Bowl in itself for Cleveland fans, and hopefully it's something to look forward to for Cleveland fans. Baker was out there and everything. He starts this coming week, Week 4. Will, take it away. Talk about this game.
All right. Where do I start? I mean, the first half for the Jets looked absolutely phenomenal. Their defense looked like the Rex Ryan defense of 2010. They were going after Tyrod. They were literally causing these pass breakups, not letting the Browns do anything. And it was honestly like enjoyable to watch. You had Corral who had 2 touchdowns and then wiped his bum with the football and chucked it into the crowd. And everyone says that's when the difference maker happened. But I kind of need to go against that and say the difference maker was when Tyrod got hurt and Baker Mayfield made his debut. Because the Jets were not ready to face Tyrod, and no team's ready to face a backup quarterback nonetheless. And as a Jet fan, the Browns played better than the Jets. They outplayed the Jets in every category. They had the heart. They had the motivation to want to win. The Jets honestly thought 14 points was enough, and they were terribly wrong. There's Jet fans that are out there saying, oh, you got to bench Sam Darnold. It's all Sam Darnold's fault. I mean, it's not really Sam Darnold's fault. You have Jeremy Bates, who's a numbnut. He doesn't... I understand he wasn't in the league for a few years, and he comes back, and everyone's like, oh, hey, we have Jeremy Bates. That's cool. And we had... I forgot who the offensive coordinator was for the Jets last year. But the guy last year made Josh McCown look like a Pro Bowl quarterback. He had 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. McCown had some really good games. He shined a lot. Robbie Anderson even shined. And you bring in Jeremy Bates, who had, week 1 was, kind of like a Mets season. And then it gets canceled per KFC Barstool. Just canceled the season. And, I have to give props to Cleveland. I can't say that, the what ifs, the what that. Like, I can't say, like, oh, hey, if this happened, the Jets would have won or that happened. No, I'm just looking at it right in the face. And the Jets lost to poor coach calling. And I know Casey, the defensive coordinator, got some stuff stripped from him, so Todd Bowles would be calling on 4th downs, hurry-ups, and all that. I mean, hey, we'll kind of see what the Jets can do for, the rest of the season. Welcome back, Tom.
So what, do we have an update on Tyrod's injury at all?
No, all I know is Baker Mayfield starting.
And that's it, huh? Right there, cut and dry. So once again, the Jets lost to Cleveland at home. Well, Cleveland was at home, 21-17. Moving on, Oakland. We're at the 1 o'clock games here. Oakland in Miami, 28-20.
the Raiders just looked phenomenal in that first quarter. Jordy Nelson looked like, hey, he had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, but it was just Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr actually kind of like did some stuff here. I mean, maybe it was Jordy Nelson who had a day.
I mean, Jordy Nelson had 130 yards in the first 7 minutes of the game.
Ended the game 170 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he had some breakout plays.
I mean, the first play, you had 70 yards down the field. John Gruden, I mean, we have to talk about John Gruden here. He likes going for it on fourth down when he has the lead. And every time he's gone for it on fourth down with the lead, they end up losing the game.
He's a risky guy here. You're talking about the dude
I know you're a risky
that
guy.
sailed away, Khalil Mack.
If you're in field goal range and you could get the 3 points, take the 3 points, because literally just those 3 points can help you with really any situation there is.
Dolphins defense.
The Dolphins
good.
defense,
really good.
I know. Willie Hayes, he tore his ACL with, of course, that sack rule. He planted his foot down, trying to catch himself, and he just tore his ACL while trying not to fall on to Mac. Yeah, Jared Cook, is always a guy to watch. He's a top 5 receiving right now.
I don't think anyone really kind of expected him to play so well. So, once again, if you have him in fantasy, maybe he's something to consider. If you need tight ends, maybe he's something to consider.
Trade
Flex,
for him.
Anything, trade for him. Maybe, possibly. Maybe not yet. But so far, first 3 weeks, he's consistently doing very well. He seems to be, other than the running backs, Derek Carr's favorite target. He's putting in the work. He's looking very good. No one really expected that. Marshawn
Lynch.
Still kicking, still running. He's doing his thing.
Beast mode.
Beast mode. Dolphins offense, they looked good as well.
Yeah. Akeem Spence was ejected after
he
had a battle with the left guard and benches were cleared. It was like a baseball fight, but
that was interesting. But
he ripped the helmet off. I'm pretty sure he ripped the helmet off the guy, and then he got ejected, even though he wasn't really throwing any punches.
This was so exciting. This was fun. The Albert Wilson high five.
Yeah,
this was so great.
They end around the Albert Wilson. I mean, for Kansas City, that's a loss, but they've honestly
how much did they really lose there?
I mean, Albert Wilson's one quick dude. You can't stop him.
Miami's gain, not even Kansas City's loss. So that's that. That's really the whole thing right there. Yeah, that's that game right there. Miami is 3-0. They're leading the division. They're in front of Buffalo, the Jets, and the Patriots.
When all 3 of those teams are 1-2 right now.
They all have the same amount of wins as Miami alone. Miami going into the next week. We'll see. Who do they play this coming week? We're not even at those predictions yet.
I mean, we'll eventually get there.
We'll get there. I couldn't. There's too many. Let's just move on. I have no idea who they play. I forget.
Cincinnati, Carolina. Cincinnati lost 28-21.
Cincinnati's another team that maybe we didn't see doing so well this year, and they come in and they've looked well this year. I mean, this is a close loss. It's close to, it's only one touchdown difference here. But Carolina's Carolina. They played very well.
4 interceptions off of Andy Dalton. But it's Andy Dalton.
That might have been the deciding factor right there. Those are 4 opportunities that Andy Dalton doesn't have to score. Bernard, though, scoring without Mixon since Mixon's
out 2 to 4 weeks.
AJ Green
fell on his head in the end zone early on, and I thought like he just concussed himself because he went and caught it and just smashed his face.
He scored the touchdown, right?
I don't think he scored the touchdown.
Was it called back? I think it might have been called back. So that was rough.
And then later on, he hurt his calf later on in the game, and he didn't return.
Do we have a timeline on his injury?
I think Marvin Lewis said he expects him to play this week unless anything happens.
So maybe that's not that big of a deal. But he was hurt during that game. He did go out during that game. That might have been a deciding factor for Cincinnati. McCaffrey, though.
180 yards.
McCaffrey, he's top 5 right now rushing in the league. Maybe because of this game alone.
McCaffrey had a day.
Yes. C.J. Anderson also, he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, C.J. Anderson, he's reviving. Most running backs that leave Denver don't really survive much longer in the league.
Yeah, I mean, but he's doing well. Cam, being the most Cam's been, I believe he
57 rushing touchdowns in his career, the most by a running back.
and he had 2 rush touchdowns in that game alone.
Yeah.
I think he's had a rush touchdown every game so far this season.
If not, he just recovered with two this game.
I mean, come on.
Devin
So-
Funchess also had a nice little.
Yeah, Devin Funchess.
He was just all over that.
He had
one
a
drive.
slow start of the season in the first 2 weeks, but week 3, he did have a very nice drive.
Now we're going on
That's
into
that.
Philly.
Yeah, this was also a close one.
Eagles won
This
20-16 to the Colts.
This time, Carson in home starting.
The Ginger Jesus, as some Eagles call him.
He did have a touchdown on his first drive.
His first drive, he kind of got those jitters out early. You know,
Yeah.
he scored. He looked really. He
moving,
looked good.
He was moving really well.
He's moving good,
I
but he's
don't know.
not running out of the pocket yet. You know.
Well, no, I saw him. He did run and create a first down for himself.
He's
which
not
was
the
pretty
Carson
good.
that we saw before the injury, but he's probably not 100% with that knee
He
yet.
doesn't look 100% yet.
But he looks good enough to play.
He was intercepted. I know that. But
Goddard.
It is what it is. Goddard had his first touchdown. Rookie. Tight end.
Yeah,
He looks
Wendell
good.
Smallwood putting up those yards.
Yeah, with Jay out the last week, and I don't believe he's supposed to be out this week. I think he's active this week, or at least questionable.
J-Train?
Yeah.
They were looking for him and Sproles to return to the lineup
Yeah,
against
so,
the Titans.
So they should be active this week. Right back in it. They will help out Carson.
Grant on the Colts had
Yep.
a very nice touchdown.
He
the
looked
corner.
very well, very good that game.
Yeah.
Uh,
This was
but,
the
yeah.
weirdest thing. The last play of the game, the cameras cut to Jacoby Brissett running onto the field. So I thought, oh no, Luck got hurt. The Colts are not confident in Andrew Luck throwing that deep ball yet.
Not yet. Not
And
after
that puts the
surgery.
question, is Andrew Luck fully there yet? Because he hasn't
Yeah.
really looked that hot this season yet.
Do the Colts trust him to be out there 100%?
throwing a 60-yard pass, they're not confident in his arm strength.
Is he being out there maybe holding back the Colts a little bit when it comes
Is
to
that
the deep
why?
threat?
Is that why the Colts won a first rounder for Jacoby?
It could be.
Jacoby's a good quarterback.
It could be. He's a decent quarterback, yep. I mean, he played behind Tom Brady.
I mean, not
Not
even
for
Tom
that
Brady.
long.
Nah.
No, but he
It was
he
Brady's
played for the
suspension.
Patriots during Tom Brady's suspension. But either way, we look at Andrew Luck and maybe he's not 100% yet. But he's still out there. He's still
performing for his team.
performing. He's still looking pretty average as far as quarterbacks right now in the league. Maybe a little bit towards better than average. But it's week 3. We
We still
plenty of
have
time left.
plenty of football to go. And also, after the game, Carson Wentz looked like he won the Masters and not a football game, dressing
what
up
was
in
that?
some green suit. I saw
what it
that,
was?
and I thought it was funny, so I had to write that down.
This was a fantastic game.
Game of the 1 o'clock hour?
Apparently, New Orleans is just going to be a fantastic game every week. The Saints play a game, and it's just the game to watch every week. Apparently, I mean they have
Great
done
game.
nothing but give us highlight games, really.
Yeah, they've had literally close games every single week.
And they're putting up points too. They are doing their thing. Breeze is playing as well as he's really ever played right now.
Breaking Brett Favre's completion record in 50 less games than the retirement man.
Do you remember the completion number?
He broke 6,600?
I thought it was maybe 6,300.
Something like that.
Somewhere past
Something in the
6,000.
6,000s.
But he broke that record. He is literally first all time in that category. And he rushed for 2 touchdowns, so you don't see him holding back. He's going for it. He rushed for the touchdown to win the game.
He spin moved out of this
Yeah,
man.
you saw that.
He spin
That was
moved out of him.
like it buried me in fantasy during that spin move. By the way, I was not happy, but he is doing well enough to carry fantasy teams apparently.
And now Dom's favorite, Calvin Ridley.
Oh yeah, Calvin Ridley. How exciting was this? Rookie, first rounder to Atlanta, out of Alabama. 3 touchdown passes. He was electric this game.
3 touchdown catches. Passes.
Yeah, I wrote passes. That's wrong.
Same difference.
3 touchdown catches.
The first rookie in Atlanta.
He caught the ball everywhere on the field,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, he was burning everyone.
First.
Yeah, he was the first rookie.
First Falcons rookie since 2006 to have 3 touchdown passes. Last time since who?
Algie
Crumpler.
catching 3 touchdown passes.
All I remember is the Jets Patriots divisional round, and there he is,
yeah.
Algie Crumpler.
Ridley has 4 touchdown catches on the season.
And it's
Last
3
week with
games.
1.
Week 2.
Oh, what?
You said last catch was week 1 of a touchdown.
No, last catch he had 1 touchdown catch his first. And this is interesting. Say it. What is that?
Ridley has 4 touchdown catches in his first 3 NFL games, and Julio has 4 touchdown catches in his last 18 regular season games. That's
is brutal.
Should I be alerted?
Is it regular season games or
regular
is it also
season?
It is strictly regular season. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, Julio's doing well this season so far. He's doing all right. The first game against Philly, he was doing great. So maybe he's not a worry. Maybe there's nothing to be worried about there. He can still go deep. It's just Calvin Ridley can do it too.
I mean, hey, it's always good. Mohamed Sanu.
The best cornerback they're playing he's matching up on Julio. So this does give Calvin Ridley a chance to really shine.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara. We got to talk about some Saints too. Alvin Kamara, 15 catches, the second most by a running back.
Alvin Kamara, that was my offensive player of the year. I mean, come on. Bring me there.
Yeah, Michael Thomas,
36
catches in 3 games. He passed Julio, another Julio record.
Oh, was it in 3 games?
Yeah, in 3 games. Julio had 35, 34, somewhere there.
Yeah. But Michael Thomas, he's on the pace for like an insane record,
224
season. Yeah, and he hasn't slowed down. Tevin Coleman looked good, did well in Freeman's absence. Do we have a timeline on that injury too, Devontae?
I don't know. I haven't really heard anything.
Talk about timeline for injuries for the Falcons. This is kind of an injured team, or at least an injured defense.
Ricardo Allen, right?
Ricardo Allen,
torn ACL.
That's a safety. Keanu Neal,
another ACL.
That's a safety.
And you had Deion Jones, who's also on IR,
who is like the middle linebacker,
a vital part of that team.
So this is we'll see how the Falcons can really keep this defense up without these key players, to say the least. Moving on, though. Denver in Baltimore. Baltimore won 27-14. Tell us something about this game.
In my other league, I picked up Lindsey, that running back, and he got ejected for throwing a punch.
That was rough.
And I was just like, of course.
Unnecessary.
Only this would happen to me when I pick up a player. Lindsey throws a punch, gets ejected early on.
That was a little...
Buck Allen, Alex Collins, that's a very good running back tandem in the league.
Yeah.
They're looking really good.
Baltimore's another team that we went into the season.
Just not a lot of high hopes for.
What do we have to look at here? And they're showing everyone that they are the real deal. There's nothing to be worried about in Baltimore right now. If Joe Flacco goes down, there's Lamar Jackson. They have some depth. They're doing well with their starters. They're making it happen. They're winning games. So, I mean, the Baltimore offense and defense is real right now. People did not see that coming into the season. We did not see that coming into the season.
I did not see that coming. Baltimore, 13-13 in the red zone and offense this year. Absolutely perfect. The Baltimore defense, unreal. We're also looking at Owusu, a pick 6 for the Ravens, and also Justin Tucker he just kicks 50-yard field goals with ease.
In his sleep.
I think he kicked 70-yarders in his sleep.
Whew.
It's practice. We talking practice?
That's really it for that game.
That's it for that game. Now we're going to be going to Arrowhead.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, this game was ridiculous.
Dude. Patrick Mahomes is unstoppable. I am so happy I went into the season saying that this man is going to be the next big deal, and he's overshot that even. He's broken records already, and he's just shattering the rest of the league. I mean, this guy, what do we got here? He's spreading around the ball, unlike rookie quarterbacks. Rookie quarterbacks don't
he's not a rookie. He's a second year, but he doesn't have that many starts under his belt.
That's right. He's not a rookie quarterback, but he's a first-year starter, really. it's his first year starting, is what I'm trying to say. But usually those guys, not veteran quarterbacks, usually they don't spread around the ball like a veteran. And Patrick Mahomes is making it look easy.
Is he human?
Is he human?
I think he was on
That's
Mars.
the question, honestly. This dude, holy cow.
9 touchdowns to 9 different receivers. Holy cow, I wrote that in the notes. Intern Joe, you want to slide back up really quick? Yeah, Dom just want to go right into talking about Patrick Mahomes.
I couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes.
I saw holy cow, and I'm just like, oh.
Holy cow. Will wrote holy cow in our notes, so I had to say it. Come on. It's in all caps.
Also, we have look at the other quarterback. Jimmy G planted his foot and just his knee literally turned into mashed potatoes.
Was not easy to look at.
That was disgusting to look at. And also going from, a torn ACL, we're looking at Richard Sherman, and he's doing what he does. He's still the lockdown corner.
Yeah, look
still
at him.
the lockdown corner that
Doesn't
he
matter
was.
what team he's on, apparently.
Kareem-
Maybe matters the division, but
Kareem Hunt, 2 touchdowns in the first half.
He always looks good.
Looking good. Kansas City O-line.
Breida. Is that how you say it? Breida?
Yeah, Breida Morris.
And Alfred Morris, the old Alfred Morris. Good running back tandem. Again,
Good win.
Because I didn't say this. Patrick Mahomes, how many touchdowns are we at? 13, right? 13, Patrick Mahomes. I'm just throwing that out there, 13. But a lot of the success definitely has to go to the O-line in Kansas City. Their O-line is not making mistakes. They were not making mistakes against pass rush. They're making it happen on the running attack. I mean, their O-line is like top of the line here. I don't know. Did we see that coming, really? Their O-line performing this well?
I didn't expect them doing good.
They were about average in our books, but they are performing well. Patrick Mahomes is obviously succeeding because of it. And that's really that there. Moving on, Green Bay in Washington
crumbled
a little bit. 17-13 Washington
31.
won.
It's 31 17.
I mixed that up. 31-17 Washington wins at home.
AB
Adrian Peterson.
AP
all day.
All day.
All
Paul
day.
Richardson all day. Alex Smith
All day.
somewhat all day. I mean, until
most
he threw
of
an
the
interception.
day. Most of the day. AP had 2 touchdowns. How many yards?
Seventh in TDs. AP had a day and a half. He had 27 in DraftKings leagues.
Did he? Well,
He had
I'm trying to
27
think
points.
of the yards. I want to
I mean,
say
hey,
it was
you-
at least 120 yards.
Yeah,
he had a
rushed
game
for that, and he's 5th in the league right now in rushing. I wouldn't have ever
he is.
expected him. Wouldn't have expected him to be
Especially
there.
after the year he had last year, kind of struggling on multiple teams last
Looked
year.
like he was just gonna
Looks
retire.
like it
from the
was
sunset.
over for his career. Washington, he goes there and boom, it's the system he needed to be in. Chris Thompson helps him out a little bit. Chris Thompson was a little quiet this game because AP was taking
AP
everything.
Took the ball.
Alex Smith, just like we said, looks good. Paul Richardson looked better.
Geronimo Allison. He had a great long touchdown.
This is
Yeah, the
that's not
commentator was
first
just
game this
Geronimo
year.
Allison's wide open. Oh, Geronimo.
Geronimo Allison becoming one of Aaron Rodgers'
Favorite targets,
Yeah,
Randall
with
Cobb,
Jordy Nelson gone.
Mike Adams, Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Geronimo Allison.
Yeah, and
Mo Wilkerson
that's
possibly out for the season with a
little bit
broken ankle.
that's a little bit rough.
It's sad.
And we were talking about this earlier. Clay Matthews again. Will he go a week without being flagged for pass? What is that? What is that called? I can't think of it.
passer.
Roughing the passer. We'll see. I mean, he's still putting out a show out there, but he has to be a lot more careful than he's been in the past.
The rumor mill right now, apparently the Packers aren't going to re-sign Clay Matthews.
Really?
Yeah, so Clay Matthews is going to play lights out for the next 13 weeks that the Packers have.
That's
maybe
this
the
season,
playoffs
huh?
if they make it
Maybe the end of his career in
Green
Bay. Interesting.
Uh,
That one is interesting. I mean, they obviously have the money to sign him.
Yeah, but hey, bring in the
we'll
younger
see.
talent.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe you need that veteran, though. Moving on, though. New York Giants win their first game.
First game of the season, yeah.
Yep. In Houston, 27-22. Talk a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so before the game, Brandon Flowers was benched because he sucks. I mean, I'm sorry,
That's what
Giants.
Giants fans have
I'm
been
sorry.
saying,
I'm
too.
sorry, Giant fans. But like, if you
No,
if,
don't even be
I mean-
sorry.
I mean,
I've
hey,
heard
if
that
they,
from
if they
Giants
if
fans.
they say, hey, he doesn't suck, then like, hey, you clearly do not watch football and you just watch a potato. And then their mindset, hey, let's start an undrafted rookie who's just gonna have to go against J.J. Watt, and J.J. Watt ate Eli Manning up, strip
Yeah.
sack.
Yeah, J.J. Watt
Houston,
looked
I
good.
believe, recovered that one.
J.J. Watt actually got his first sack in a little bit, actually.
I mean, since
It's
last
been a
season.
while, yeah. Saquon, again, looks phenomenal. Saquon Barkley, top
Making
pick this year. Just doing work, doing what he needed to be for the Giants. And once again, with no help from the O-line, that's the constant theme of the Giants right now. The O-line is not good. Worst in the league. I'm confident in saying that at this point. Eli's struggling because of it.
You have a Hurts
Saquon
center.
could have a 2,000-yard season, I'm sure of it, if the O-line was anything better than what it is now.
Even a center block is better than what they have. It's
It
looking
is
like the
bad.
Seattle offensive
A
line.
wall, yeah. I mean, it is not good for the O-line. Eli,
Eli actually looked
Yeah,
kind of good
like
for
a
the first time
quarterback.
since I don't know.
since
I don't
It's
know.
been
Whenever he
years
picked up a
almost, I
football,
think.
I don't even know if he was good then.
um,
Burn.
2 Super Bowls might argue with you on that one.
Uh,
Not that I liked those 2 Super Bowls,
Nah.
but
looking at the Texans, Davenport, I believe he's the right tackle, had 4 false starts called on him. And I can already know he's not going to have a job.
yeah,
It's coming
Davenport
next week.
was
Come
not
on, man.
Good. I mean, that you're not helping your team in any way, shape, or form. Deshaun Watson, to me, I'm not convinced on his ability yet. He put in some yards. He did a little bit of work here, but once again, he did not win them this game. It's the 3rd time he hasn't won them this game. We'll see going into next week. Maybe he's starting to pick it up. He's better than he looked the first 2 weeks, but he's not there yet. People were saying that Deshaun Watson might be the next thing when it comes to quarterbacks for the next amount of years.
I mean, last year
I-
he showed it. He showed
I
it
don't
last
see that.
year.
I wasn't convinced last year. I'm not convinced this year. I need more from Deshaun Watson if he wants to be that next thing. Will Fuller also looking very good. I don't know why I wrote what's
Davenport,
there.
I don't know
I don't
why.
know.
I don't
wasn't
even,
paying attention, I guess. That's interesting.
Oh.
But either way, we're done with that game. Moving on. Buffalo.
At
my
Minnesota.
gosh. First
The
of all,
upset.
what is
the-
happening?
The upset of the week.
The
If you-
upset of
if-
maybe the year.
If you put money on Buffalo winning this game, you probably are thousands of
You're
dollars
rich.
richer.
You're rich.
17-point favorite Vikings don't even cover the spread.
It's first of all, Josh Allen. I was impressed this week. I was actually
Air Allen,
impressed.
trademark
Air Allen,
it, book it, make some Nike shoe, make the Jordans. I don't know, Air
the
Allens.
Allens.
They're like giraffe shoes, I guess, because he is a giraffe.
He hurdled the guy. This guy
He-
is not afraid to run the ball.
And
as
that
a
guy-
quarterback, 2 rush touchdowns. This guy, he exploited this dude the
I
whole
mean,
game.
Anthony Barr was
Anthony Barr
Anthony Barr was
was
not
torn
having it.
apart by Josh Allen the whole entire game, and most importantly, when Josh Allen jumped over a human being to continue a run. I mean, come on, this guy, who knew? This guy's bringing the Bills to a level that they weren't at week 1. That's for sure.
He's reviving this team.
He is
a little
reviving this
bit.
team. I can't even say that he's reviving this team because last year they did well with Tyrod.
I mean,
But
he's reviving what
for the future, he's reviving their future.
He's
That is
he's
for
reviving
sure.
what Tyrod left.
Yeah.
The Bills' defense was causing mayhem, causing a lot
Yeah.
of fumbles, turnovers, and all that.
They were just looking good. Kirk fumbled twice. I mean, Kirk had an off game.
Kirk had
There's
an off
no
game,
way
but he
to
still
say it.
went 40 of 55 for 72% completion rate.
But what didn't he do? He didn't,
didn't-
score a touchdown.
I mean, he did score. He did throw a touchdown.
Did he? Is that how
Yeah.
they got the 6 points?
Yeah,
I don't
and
even remember it because the Bills were too
This
dominating.
game wasn't even like shown that much.
No, it wasn't because it was a blowout for pretty much the whole game. Minnesota didn't even score. Did he throw that touchdown in the 4th quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Minnesota was being blown out for a while. I mean, in Minnesota, too. That is rough. That's brutal. Ivory looking good in replace
Of
of
McCoy.
as well. How
Yeah.
long is McCoy out? What's our
It
timeline
was
here?
It was literally the maximum of a week. He should be back
Okay,
this
so he
week.
should be back this week. That's good for the Bills Mafia. Looking forward to their season now that Josh Allen is kind of putting on a show after last week. So that's interesting.
Now we're going to
moving on.
Jacksonville.
This was
For the brand, Pat McAfee.
to be
The
honest
Pat
though.
McAfee game.
This was a boring game.
It
This
was
was
it was
absolutely
very
a boring
defensive.
game.
No one could score unless it was a field goal.
Yeah, this was a little bit rough watching this game.
Really, there was no notes of it. I mean,
What do you say?
I wrote.
There was a field goal. There was a field goal. There was a field goal,
Well,
and there was another field goal. Come on.
I saw a blue man in the end zone at 117 in the first quarter. If you go back, you'll see that it was just a guy in all blue.
Was he like a fan?
I hope he was a fan. I hope he just doesn't I just want to color myself blue today and just get out
Like
there.
a cameraman or something? That's interesting. That might be the most interesting part of the game.
Doug Marone
honestly.
iced Ryan Suck up, so he can say he sucked up. But
That was
that was terrible.
interesting.
Okay, forget about it. And Calais
Wait,
Campbell,
wait,
Calais
do we want to
Calais-
use one of these? Do we want to use one of these?
I mean, those are just cheering things. That's not even worth
no,
it.
I think there's one that lasts. Yeah! This has a soundboard. We didn't know if we'd use it, but I kind of wanted to try. I don't even know if you hear it, but it's going to be fun on the playback of this podcast.
I hope they don't hear it.
Oh, it was people laughing if you didn't hear it.
Yeah, Calais Campbell,
Come on.
Calais Campbell, whatever you say his name, he had 2 sacks in that.
He did pretty good.
Now we're going to the 4:00 games. The Battle of LA, Chargers Rams winning 35-23.
I had this being an upset, but that's all right.
The first Battle of LA since 1994. We weren't even born. I don't think we even thought of yet.
That's kind of rough.
We weren't conceived, produced. I don't know if you want to.
Produced.
We just shut
were
up.
not produced yet. What? Okay, we weren't made yet.
All right.
We
The
didn't
first-
live in this world last time there was a Battle of LA.
Let's start out with this. Todd
Gurley was.
Dan Fouts
This
said
was-
an inspirational quote, and I had to write this down. Todd Gurley's looking thick in the lower body.
Can we do it? Can we do it again? Yeah. I have no idea. I just want to try it.
Todd Gurley looking thick in the
Thick
lower.
in the
I
lower
tried.
body.
I don't know how many
Dan
C's.
Fouts,
I don't know.
That's top tier analytics.
Something I want to ask Dan Fouts. How many C's are you considering thick? Like extra thick?
I mean, this guy. First of all, Todd Gurley is as good as he is. We know that he's getting it done with his
His legs, his thickness.
thick lower body. He puts on a show every week. That's how that goes. Also, Melvin Gordon. He puts on a show every week. He's looked impressive every week of the season. He runs really well.
He
There's
looks
nothing more to say there. I mean, he's doing well.
Mike Williams
Impressive.
Mike Williams of the Chargers. He had a couple of touchdown snags already this season. He had another one against the Rams.
Yeah.
He's slowly looking like that Clemson player that the Chargers drafted with the 7th pick last year. Malcolm Brown, the backup. I mean, he's looking good. Todd Gurley has, he has a reliable backup if Todd Gurley ever goes down.
Robert Woods had a nice game.
Had a day.
Nice game. He took some end arounds, I believe. He was
Robert
doing
Woods, the
a
all-around
lot.
player. The
Yeah.
Bills kind of messed up not signing him.
I mean, this part's brutal. Tell
Peters
us.
and Talib were hurt. Talib today was just put on IR, so you're expecting him to be out for at least 8 weeks.
you're talking about your number
Peters,
one press guy.
I mean, it all depends on how Peters going to react. If he's going to play, he may not play Sunday.
That's a big hit as well.
It is a big hit. Now you
Coming
have
from
Sam Shields now
Kansas
as the
City.
number 1 corner.
Sam Shields.
Throwback Thursday.
Damn. So that's that for the Rams defense. I mean, they're still the Rams defense. You can't.
The
can't
Rams
doubt them.
defense, you still have Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. You have
come on.
Samson Abukum.
They're-
Mark
they're
Barron.
still
You still
gonna
have
do
a
what they
front
do.
7 that,
Absolutely.
as long as they bring the pressure, the defensive backs aren't going to have to worry that much.
No. Moving on. Chicago in Arizona. This was a close one, huh?
Yeah. Arizona looked really good early on. Chicago winning 16-14. The Cardinals looked amazing. David Johnson, Sam Bradford were getting it going on the offense. And then it kind of just crumbled. It crumbled a little bit. I mean, on the defense, Buda Baker the Cardinals
Budda
have a
Baker.
day. He had a very good day. Also, one of the commentators said, BYOB, bring your own blocker.
Did they really?
So I had to write
This
that
is
down.
like
I couldn't.
nice
yeah.
Dan Fouts
I mean,
stuff
hey,
right
as it's not even Dan Fouts. I don't even know who it
but-
was.
Yeah. Talking thick, we're talking BYOB.
I mean, hey, you have Mitchell Trubisky to Allen Robinson, MT to AR.
Yeah, Allen Robinson. He's done well for himself this season so far. Khalil Mack once again. Come on.
One man defense, and then there's just these 10 other guys that just
I mean,
think they
you
play
also can't
defense.
out Trevathan.
Danny Trevathan, you have Prince Amukamara, you have Eddie
seems like
Jackson.
No one in the entire league
Adrian
is
Amos.
Khalil Mack level. Khalil Mack's
just on his own
in
level.
himself. Absolutely. We read the numbers earlier. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This guy's the real deal. This guy's top tier defender. And I think he was in NFL released a thing saying, the early MVP candidates, and Khalil Mack was in there.
I mean, hey, as he's been playing,
Defender.
he deserves every chance of it.
Have we had a last time a defender has made MVP?
I mean, probably Von Miller and co. A lot of other people.
Made MVP?
I mean, not made MVP, but they
I'm
were
talking
in.
about
But they were in the race.
made
I mean, you're
MVP.
probably looking back at like the '80s and the '90s. You're
Yeah.
looking. You're
If
looking there.
Khalil Mack were to win MVP this
I
season,
mean, Khalil Mack's already gonna win.
jeez. How does John Gruden live with himself after that? I mean, that is crazy. How do Raiders fans live with themselves after
I mean,
that?
Raiders fans don't have to live with themselves because it's all John Gruden's fault.
And they're not even going to be in Oakland.
Yeah, they're gonna be moving to Vegas.
Yeah.
Within the next 2 years.
So, back to this game.
Josh Rosen
Yep.
made his surprising debut, although the Cardinals should have kept Sam Bradford in. I know Sam Bradford wasn't looking too hot, but you can't turn it over to Rosen if, you're only down 2 points. It's not like you're getting blown out like 30 points. It's only a 2-point game, and Rosen throws an interception within his first few passes. I think his second pass was picked off. And, it's the rookie jitters. You can't say, oh, hey, Rosen sucks and all that. It's just a learning development for every rookie that ever comes in the league. Also, was it wrong for Bradford to be benched? Do you think?
I think it might have been wrong. I mean, it's also a close game, but at this point, you're getting to the end of the game. I think it's almost pointless to give this guy that had no reps the entire game the ball just because it's getting closer to the end of the game. I mean, it's cool. We've seen quarterbacks come out like Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield and make magic out of a game that is not going well for that team. But maybe not this game. Maybe not Josh Rosen. So it is what it is. Moving on. Dallas in Seattle.
I mean, I didn't even write down the score.
We didn't
'cause
even
it
write
was
down the score.
Crawford
I
had a
don't know
rough in the
why we
passer,
didn't write
but
down the score.
it was an actual penalty. Earl Thomas had 2 interceptions, and he gave a nice little gentleman's dab in front of the Dallas bench. And what was weird about this, reports were coming out saying Dallas coaches told Earl, saying, hey, we can't wait to see you in Dallas this week. I don't think the trade's going to happen this week, but you never know when this could even happen.
And just saying, Seattle won this game 14-13.
14 to 3rd.
14 is wrong. 24-13. Even looking at the score, I can't say it right. 24-13. Seattle won this game. So that kind of tells you right then and there, Dallas was struggling a little bit. But the one person on Dallas that wasn't struggling, the whole
Tavon
game,
Austin.
and Zeke wasn't.
I mean,
doing that
Zeke wasn't
bad.
struggling, but Tavon Austin found the end zone.
Yeah, Tavon Austin made that happen.
Yes, Tavon Austin, ever since he's been moved off the Rams, he's kind of been like this shifty running back guy.
Yeah.
He's been looking really good so far. Seattle's Barkevius Mingo, the former Colt, he was eating up Dak. This Seattle defense was looking better than they did compared to weeks 1 and 2, and Dak was not taking it at all. He has looked terrible this entire season so far.
But once again, this O-line is not the Dallas O-line we know. It's not going to be the Dallas O-line of next season.
Or even
This
probably
is just...
a while.
What do you mean?
I mean, the Dallas offensive line is not... It's not what it was, where it's like,
well, they
oh,
also
hey.
have all these injuries, and they
have
have
all
all
these
these
injuries.
players that aren't playing. I mean, it's just not what Dallas's O-line is. You know, if they were all healthy and everything was all right there, Dallas's O-line might be dominant. But those key players are not in on that O-line, and the O-line is crumbling because of it.
Also, Marty Schottenheimer's the offensive coordinator in Seattle. No wonder why they haven't been winning games.
I haven't heard that name in a while either.
I mean, he was on the Rams and then kind of like faded away. Now he's
And
just
there he
resurrected.
Yeah, apparently. Oh,
Now we're going on to the Sunday night game. Dom, take it away.
I didn't even want this. Moving
wanted
on again to this game, this night game. New England in Detroit. Patricia plays Belichick for the first time since he moved on into his head coach position and outplayed the Patriots. To say the absolute least, he outplayed the Patriots. Tom Brady was under pressure for the entire game. There were tons of 3-and-outs during this game for the Patriots. It was not okay. It was brutal. As a Patriots fan, this was brutal. As all you other fans, you might have enjoyed the Patriots maybe not looking good this season. I'm hoping it's not going to continue that way, obviously. The Patriots are hoping it's not going to continue that way. But something needs to change here. Brady is throwing to guys that just aren't there. I feel like Brady has not slowed down. I feel like the rest of the team on offense is not where it needs to be. Philip Dorsett was not looking good this game, not to me at least. He's fast, he's got the speed, but that might be it because him and Brady are not connecting. Especially this game, him and Brady are not connecting. I believe it led to a Brady interception as well, just because Philip and Brady are not connecting at all. Stafford looked better than Brady during that game. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen that before, honestly. Marvin Jones also looked good for Detroit. But once again, really the story of this game was Detroit actually looked really good, and the Patriots did not look good. I mean, that's what that is. There's nothing more to really say about that. I'm hoping that next week is something different. Going to Miami, who's now 3-0. Hopefully that's just a fluke, and the Patriots play Miami well, as they have the last few seasons.
Now we're going into Tampa Bay.
This was a good game.
It was terrible first half.
Yeah, but it was close at least.
It ended close.
Well, yeah.
Fitztragic was the first half, and Fitzmagic was the second half.
Yeah.
Vance McDonald murdered a guy.
What? Tell me about this.
It was all that Big Ben did was just throw over the middle of Vance McDonald, and he just stiff-armed Chris Conte, and Chris Conte tore his PCL on his knee from the stiff arm.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
I did not know that.
Yeah, he got put on IR.
No way.
Yeah, so Vance McDonald killed a guy, and
What
whoever number 97 was just
arm.
like, oh my lord!
What a stiff arm. I saw the stiff arm. I mean, if you have a chance, look at the McDonald stiff arm in that game. It is brutal. But he took the guy out of the year.
Not the year. I think just for like the next 8 weeks.
That's decent. 8 weeks. Come on now. I mean, wow. Antonio Brown.
Had a nice touchdown.
Antonio Brown. Come on. That's him.
Mike Evans and Godwin both
touchdowns.
both had a touchdown each.
That's them.
Fitzmagic.
This is crazy.
The first player in NFL history to have 3 consecutive 400-yard games. Not even Drew Brees, Peyton Manning. Tom Brady doesn't really throw for 400 yards that often. He throws for like 350, but it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. The dude has 7 kids, and he's having another one in January. And the question goes, has Fitzmagic won the starting job?
I don't even know. I really don't. I drafted Jameis Winston in our fantasy league. Our fantasy league isn't like the starting roster that you put up isn't that small. So we have the availability to draft these like guys that are suspended and hope for something later in the season. I was hoping maybe I could trade him or something like this. But it's gotten to a point where I am just going to drop him because what do you do? Is Fitzmagic playing the rest of the season? Has he won the starting job or are they going to throw it back to last year and give it to Winston? Because with Fitzmagic breaking a record like this, 3 consecutive 400-yard games, how do you not keep that? Who knows? Maybe we could see another week with 400 yards if he stays as the starter. I mean, what do you think?
Fitzmagic has won the job. I mean, Fitzmagic has already won the hearts of Tampa Bay. But as a Jet fan, do not let your hearts conceive you that much. I probably used the wrong wording there, but I don't care. I used the wrong wording there, but do not get played.
Deceive you?
I said conceive.
Yes, conceive. Your hearts will not conceive you. Don't let your hearts deceive you, because
you're going to conceive.
This is a cycle, usually, that Will likes to talk about.
The cycle will continue!
Which means what happens for the rest of the season for Fitz?
He's going to play well. He's going to look good. Maybe the Buccaneers even make a playoff spot. And then, then they're going to sign Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then he's just going to suck, and then they're going to cut him, and then that's literally...
And then he'll go to a team and do it all over again. Maybe better than this. It seems like he almost gets better every time he runs through the cycle.
Now that we have gone through each of those 16 games, now we're going on to our preview games.
This one's a long one. Look at us.
We're already at an hour.
Right now.
Yeah, we're talking. We're at an hour. We still haven't even predicted these games.
Being an hour.
If you're still with us,
listening
thank
for an
you.
hour. Jeez. Moving on. This is the fun part.
Our predictions.
Predictions for next week. We are tied. This is competitive. It's only week 4.
Yeah, teams on the bye week right now are the Panthers and the Redskins.
I believe.
Yes, I have them. I have it written right below it. Yep.
Washington and Carolina are on their bye weeks, which is I'm kind of disappointed about that.
It's early bye weeks.
Carolina is fun to watch, and Washington right now is kind of fun to watch, but it is what it is.
So now we're going to the
starting with Thursday
night game. We're going to be
exciting.
watching live from B-Dubs.
B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. We both, from Buffalo Wild Wings, have the Rams. This isn't like a Buffalo Wild Wings ad. I don't know why. We've
Wings,
so
beer,
much.
sports, or any
Rams
drink you... Or if you're
winning
not a
this
fan
game.
of beer, hard liquor with some soda, I don't know.
Rams are
Or
winning
just
this
hard
game.
liquor.
Between me and Will, we both believe that.
Rams defense is too dominant. I think that
Even
with
without
the short
maybe
week and
Peters
how
and
oblitterated the Vikings have gotten, the Vikings are not.
You're saying they're not bouncing back.
The Vikings are not bouncing back. You got to wait till week
I thought
5.
about this. I thought maybe the Vikings would bounce back and give the Rams their first loss, maybe their only loss of the season, maybe. But I picked the Rams. You can't bet against the Rams right now at all. Todd Gurley, you cannot bet against him. Jared Goff, he's doing well. The entire defense, you can't bet against. So it's just cut and dry. Rams winning that game on Thursday night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wings, beer, sports.
Moving on, Philadelphia in Tennessee. What do you got, Will?
I'm picking Tennessee. I'm going with a little upset here. Tennessee's coming off of an impressive win. They've beaten the Jaguars the last few seasons. They're the best defense in the AFC, and they just go in and just beat them. Although it's just field goals, you're going against a Philly team, and it's probably going to be better weather and all that. I'm just going with Marcus Mariota, who should be starting this week, even though he still has some nerve damage
He wasn't
in his
last
arm.
week. We didn't even talk about that because of how boring that game was.
It was a boring
Jeez.
game.
Well, just so you know, in the past week, because we didn't talk about it before, Blaine Gabbert got completely and utterly
Killed.
destroyed.
I have a gravestone.
I didn't even watch it, and I just heard it from everywhere that Blaine Gabbert almost died. I mean, apparently, on the field. I mean, the guy got wrecked, and what's his name? Mariota?
Yeah,
Mariota had to
Mariota.
come in and take over, and he did so it looks like he is the starter. I still have Philadelphia doing it. Tennessee is just not a certain decision. Philadelphia also had some quarterback,
Trouble, controversy.
not even
really.
controversy.
Just
fumbling, I
bad
guess,
quarterback
just
play.
Well, not even bad. I mean, just with who's starting, but now it's stable. It's a stable team. J-Train and Darren Sproles they're supposed to be playing, and it's back to the team that they're supposed to be. And I have that Philadelphia team, beating Tennessee when Tennessee is not a very stable team at the moment. So moving on. The New York, I almost said New Jersey. I don't know why.
I mean, they are New
They
Jersey.
basically are. The Jersey/New York Jets in Jacksonville. This is kind of cut and dry Jacksonville.
Jacksonville will just win because Jacksonville's the better team. The Jets are not looking too high, even though they do have 10 days away from playing them. I don't see the Jets doing it. Jacksonville's just the better team in every position right now. And, this is just a Jacksonville game.
Coming right from a Jets fan's mouth.
I know.
That's that. I have nothing to say other than Jacksonville is winning that game. Moving on. Miami the in part is important in New England because we know that New England wins games at home. And that is my reason for taking New England. I mean, it's not my only reason. I think they're winning against Miami. I think Miami's first 3 weeks were a fluke. I have New England winning in New England. Take us away, William.
I mean, even having to play from behind, the Dolphins looked very good last week, and I feel that the Dolphins could go in, upset New England, and drop New England to 1-3. Not even, like a lower than that. New England hasn't been playing good at all since week 1, and you're going against yet another good defense that really hasn't struggled as of late. So my pick right here is Miami.
All right,
We're
moving on.
going to be looking at Houston in Indianapolis. Indianapolis.
We both have Houston.
Houston.
And I just have them basically because they lost last week, and they lost the first 3 weeks, actually.
They're going to be on
And
a
I have
revenge tour.
I have Deshaun actually winning this game for his team. He's come short. Literally him has come short all 3 weeks. He's looked better each and every week, and he's going to look good enough this week to beat an average Indianapolis. What do you have? I mean, you have Houston, obviously.
Still,
but why?
Houston, like, J.J. Watt is going to eat Andrew Luck alive. That defense is going to be going on a rampage tour. My pick here is Houston.
That's that. Buffalo in Green Bay. We both have Green Bay. I guess we're both not convinced Buffalo is the team they were last week.
Nah, I'm not
I have
convinced.
Josh Allen playing well.
You can't beat Green Bay in Green Bay.
Yeah, but Green Bay is still Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is going to get better every week from his injury from week 1, which we kind of noticed a little bit. He was still kind of a little bit hurt last week. Still, it was maybe
He's still
limiting
going
him
to be
a
hurt a little bit.
But again, each and every week's just going to be better for him. And we're not convinced on Buffalo being what they were last week. Even though they beat a top-tier team like Minnesota, Green Bay's still in Green Bay, and that's that. Moving on, Detroit. In Dallas, tell us why you have who you have.
Detroit's going to win only because they're going to be on the hype train after beating Thomas the Tank Engine Brady. Yes, I do call him that. And Detroit's just playing...
I never called him this once, Will.
I've heard him say Thomas.
This is the first time I've ever heard him say Thomas the Tank Engine Brady.
I like it. I kind of like it a little bit.
Alright, whatever. Keep doing your freaking thing.
I mean, Detroit's just better in every position than what Dallas is, except running back. But Detroit's just going to go in there, and they're just going to do their thing. They're going to go to 2-2. Matt Patricia's going to get another win, his first win on the road. And I'm convinced that Dallas isn't what we saw the first two seasons of Dak Prescott and Zeke. So my pick here is Detroit.
I have Dallas because I don't think Detroit's going to get it done against Dallas. I have Zeke running well in this game again. He is a top 5 rusher right now in the league, statistically this season so far, and ability-wise, I think. He doesn't need an O-line to do well. He'll do better with no line, obviously, but without the O-line, he'll be good enough to beat Detroit almost on his own. Dak, I feel like, is going to have a little bit of a bounce-back week against Detroit, and Detroit's going to fall short in this game. Moving on, Tampa Bay in Chicago. What do you got?
Ryan Fitzmagic's just going to come out again and do what he did. He's going to upset Chicago, even though Chicago's first place right now in the NFC North, and you're going to be looking at Tampa Bay just doing work. Although Chicago can have a good game, but my heart just feels that Tampa Bay is just going to whoop some booty.
I have Khalil Mack giving Fitz magic a little bit of some Fitz tragic. I have Khalil Mack almost single-handedly hurting Fitzmagic's game to a point where Tampa Bay won't be able to get it done against Chicago. Chicago's offense still a little bit shaky, but I think Trubisky is going to get it done enough to beat the Tampa Bay team. This is a hard pick to choose between these two teams, with Chicago having the reputation on defense that they have right now. I believe that's going to hold true, and they're going to win. Cincinnati in Atlanta. Although Cincinnati has been doing so well, we both have picked Atlanta. I have Atlanta just because they're too good for Cincinnati right now. Cincinnati is not stopping the duo of Ridley and Julio.
Alabamians.
If that's how you say that.
Lingo.
That lingo. Even though Atlanta is hurting on defense, Andy Dalton threw 4 picks last week. I think he's bound to throw some more this week. Why are you picking Atlanta?
I mean, Atlanta's just a better team. If A.J. Green's not playing against Atlanta, do not expect the Bengals to do much on offense, although Tyler Boyd, John Ross they're still producing stuff. I just do not see the Bengals doing much damage as the Falcons' offense could do damage against that Bengals defense.
Fair enough. And Seattle in Arizona. This is maybe the first week we're looking at Arizona possibly winning a game. Are they starting Josh Rosen for sure?
Josh Rosen's for sure starting.
That's right. So this is going to be new again for Arizona. Why do you have Arizona?
Josh Rosen. Josh
Wrong
Rosen
QB.
is going to come out and he's going to upset. He's just going to come out and upset the Seattle defense that was known as the Legion of Boom, even though it's. Ooh, I forgot the name that Jake
Legion
gave,
of. Was it Doom? No, that's what they're called. Legion of.
Oh, give me 1 second. Cover for me.
Jake call it. Our friend Jake. Our Philly friend Jake. The Legion of. Gloom! That's what it was. The Legion of Gloom.
Because it's a sad day there, because all the bandwagon fans are going to be leaving.
And all the players basically have left retirement and other teams, and Earl Thomas is the last one there and maybe leaving soon. So that's that. I mean, for the Legion of Gloom. You keep talking.
Yeah, Arizona's going to upset Seattle. Arizona always, for some reason, plays well against Seattle, and I feel like that tradition's just going to continue this week. So my pick right here is Arizona.
Fair enough. I have Seattle beating Arizona. It's Josh Rosen's first start. I don't think he's going to come out swinging. I think he's going to start slow enough for Seattle to take advantage, do well on defense and offense. Yes, offense, and win them that game. It's honestly, to me, really matters on how well David Johnson does. But right now, I have Seattle winning that game. Moving on, this one is a fun one.
This is a tough game to pick.
This one's a fun one because we want both teams to win at this point. Cleveland in Oakland. In Oakland this time as well.
In the black hole, dark hole.
In the dark black hole. We both have Cleveland, though. It is a hard pick, I agree, but we both have Cleveland. I have Cleveland simply because Cleveland's defense is kind of making it happen every week. They almost stopped Breeze if their kicker could do well. First week against Pittsburgh, they really held Pittsburgh. Ward did his thing, came out swinging as a rookie, and I have them stopping Oakland. Carson Palmer. Oh my! Why did I say that?
I mean, speaking of
Derek
that,
Carr. I think he's getting stopped.
Again.
I think he's getting stopped, Derek Carr, by this Cleveland
Baker
defense.
Mayfield's just going to come out and upset people for Oakland. I mean, Cleveland's going to win again, and I don't know what Cleveland's going to do. I think they're going to have a Super Bowl parade probably the next day.
I mean, they're not at home this time, but still, they're going to have 2 wins in a season. So that part's kind of nice. good for them to hear. Hopefully, according to us. Moving on, New Orleans in New York against the
MetLife.
Giants. We both have New Orleans winning, I think, for obvious reasons.
The Saints' offense is too powerful for the Giants' defense to even contemplate retaining
Yeah.
at all. You have Kamara. If you stop the run game, you still got to stop the pass game. You have Ted Ginn, you have Michael Thomas, you have Coleman. You have so many weapons in New Orleans that you're not going to stop this team unless you legit have a bounty gate.
First of all, New Orleans has played their games very close to their opponents the past 3 weeks. I think this is going to have some separation in it. I think New Orleans is going to more than beat the Giants in New York, well, really in New Jersey. And come on. Kamara, Ginn, Michael Thomas, Breeze, they're not stopping. And if someone's going to stop them, it's certainly not going to be the Giants. They're just straight up going to outdo the Giants this whole game. San Fran in what we wish was still San Diego, just because
It is San Diego. I just imagine it as Qualcomm.
I don't know why. But in LA against the Chargers, we both have the Chargers. Remember, Jimmy G is out.
If Jimmy G was playing, this would probably be a San Fran victory.
Yeah, I would have it at least way closer than how we both see this game now. It's just the Chargers winning this game.
The
Straight and
Chargers are
simple.
going to be going on a revenge from last week. They're going to be, 2-2 on the season? I mean, that's what they're going to be.
2-2.
That's what I just feel like they could be looking at is a nice 2-2 Chargers team.
Yeah.
And San Francisco's going to fall again,
All right.
unfortunately.
Moving on. Baltimore
Sunday night
in
game.
Pittsburgh. Rivalry. Here we go. What do you have?
The Steelers are not going to stop Buck Allen, Alex Collins. They're not going to be stopping Crabtree, Snead, John Brown. I don't think they're going to stop them at all. Baltimore is going to upset. It's not even an upset. It's just going to be like,
At this point in the season, no, it's not an upset.
I just say Baltimore's just going to play better than Pittsburgh, and Baltimore's going to come out victorious.
Fair enough. I have Pittsburgh winning. I think Pittsburgh's going to kind of pick it up this game a little bit, and they're going to have a decent game. I think Big Ben's going to have what maybe might be 400 yards and have a vintage Big Ben game and play well in Pittsburgh and put on a show for the fans. Kansas City in Denver. Patrick Mahomes. That wasn't even designed there. We both said Patrick Mahomes. Come on, Pat. That is my only reason for Kansas City winning is Patrick Mahomes. I got nothing else for that game.
I don't have anything else
That's
either.
Patrick Mahomes. Done.
That's
enough
it for the
said.
podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
it.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, hey.
that's it for our predictions and everything. We're tied right now. I'm hoping to just beat Will for the rest of the season. He still hasn't had a lead on me, so hopefully he's looking for that lead, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you for listening.
Yep.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram.
This was a long podcast.
We
for
are
us.
for the fan. Well,
This was our
follow
longest
us.
one yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Email-
follow us.
Email
Absolutely.
us with any questions, comments, concerns, proclamations, declarations,
Correlations,
constitutions, anything else.
complications, compromises,
Amendments.
Yeah.
whatever.
We are for the fan at gmail.com.
And that's all we
That's
got.
it. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week. Or listen.